friends, welcome to Vlogmas for December 18th. As I said on Sunday, I don't really participate in these cows to win prizes, although that doesn't hurt. But of all those cows, I've only won once. You want to see the prize I got? So I won for participating in the chatter thread in the Nerd Along on the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast Ravelry group. And so I actually got this yarn. It's Koi Goo yarn, which I've never heard of before. So yeah, here it is. Got some lovely blue and pink, yellow. There's even some coral in there, right through here. Coral, color for 2019. So yeah, as I said, it is Koi Goo yarns. It is their Painter's Palette Felting Merino, which that kind of has me worried. If you know more about this, let me know. Can I make a shawl with it, or is it gonna felt? Although it says machine wash to felt, so I'm guessing if I hand wash it, it'll be fine, right? I don't know. Kind of has me worried. But I really like the colors, and I would like to make a shawl out of that. Maybe add some coral into that, stripe it. I don't know. That's gonna go into my to-be basket because it's waiting to figure out what it's meant to be. The second part of my prize was a project bag from a podcaster that I've watched for a long time, Clarissa Beth from the Crochet Cakes podcast. I really, really like her. She actually reminds me of my cousin, so when I watch her, it makes me miss Tiffany. But she opened up an Etsy shop for all the project bags that she decided to make. And I'll put a link down below because it's hard to find her on Etsy. It's called the Dainty by Crochet Cakes. But don't be fooled by the name. Yes, my project bag is hand stamped and embroidered, but it is very nerdy. Ready? Ta-da! Punch it, which is what Han Solo says to Chewie in the movies. And you have hand embroidered Millennium Falcon. And of course you have to, since they're part of the Rebels, you have to have the Rebel logo, right? So it's a nice canvas bag. On the back it has her logo. Although this was her previous logo, not the one she has now. And then on the inside, it has a nice Star Wars fabric. You can see fighters. And the Falcon, Millennium Falcon. So it's a nice one skein project bag. Very nice. I'm excited to have my own Crochet Cakes project bag. So yeah, that's my prize. As I clap again. I notice I do that and this a lot. Nervous habits. I'll try to stop. But tonight I wanted to talk about more about the Nerd Along and one of my many objects that I finished. I think it was a total of 5. I included the cats that I made for Ryan in that as well. But so the shawl that I'm wearing is actually, I call it my Molly shawl, and it is part of my Nerd Along, and I'll explain why I call it Molly in a bit. But here's the shawl, and I'm gonna have to lean way back because it is pretty big. So yeah, it is really, really big. And you can see, and I used a J hook. It's fingering weight yarn, so it's pretty meshy. The shawl pattern is called the Fall Shawl by Mama Chi, and it's a really nice pattern. Very easy, except for the first part gave me so many problems because you have to chain almost 500 stitches, and then in the second row you have to slip stitch into that chain to create the picots, which if I can get a hold of it, there we go, create these picots. And it didn't matter how many times I tried, I was always ending up with the wrong counts, and so I finally just decided to forget it, and I actually started with the stitch count that I needed for the second row and just went on from there and finished the shawl, and then I went back after I was all done and slip stitched into the second row to create the first row and create these picots as well. And it has a very nice like edge to it with the slip stitching at the end. So the yarns that I used, this very beautiful plum. Purple is my favorite, as I keep saying, it's my jam. The plum is Valley Yarns in their Granville base. And then this lovely one here, it's multicolored. I don't know if you can really see the true colors of this yarn. It's Bumblebee Acres Farm in their Coquette sock base. And the colorway is Mrs. Weasley's Knits. Hence why I call it my Molly shawl. Because all of these colors in this yarn, in this colorway, are the colors that Mrs. Weasley, Molly Weasley, uses when she makes her sweaters for her children and for Harry and Hermione. And so you end up with this lovely large shawl. It's called the Fall Shawl, and I figured these colors were very autumnal without being the bright red and yellow and orange of most fall things. Because, again, those are not my colors. So anyway, let's get this figured out again. Ta-da! I love it. And I just realized I have a string of lights that's burnt out. Gotta fix that. Didn't realize that till just now. Bye.